Hey everyone, this is Tabitha. I am here today for Funky Hand. I'd like to show you how I create a card for the new release, Rainy Day. I paired it with the Dreams Come True CD, Blue Magic. This is one of my favorite paper uh, CDs from Funky Hand. Absolutely, they have so many different color choices and different items they can use, so I decided to pair that out. I've already printed it and cut it down to 13.5 centimeters square. That's the size of my card. I also colored Rainy Day with my Copics. I cut her out and a frame out of the reverse wonky rectangles from Spellbinders. These are absolutely fantastic. I got these last year and I don't use them as often as I'd like, so I'm pretty pleased to be able to today. I also cut out some clouds from Memory Box, Puffy Clouds. This is again one of my first dies that I got. Love it. So I cut those out some glitter. So what I tend to do when I make a card is I first come up with the image. I kind of get an idea of how I want to color them. And then I pick my papers. Or sometimes if I know that I wanted to use papers, then I color the image, but usually it's image papers. So I kind of get everything. I get 3 papers. I don't know if I'll use them all, but that gives me a starting point. I have various things around me. I have some gems that you can see. I have my distresser that I always have. I have my ruler. This is a Tim Holtz ruler, and again, it's one that I use a lot. It's kind of tapered on the edge there, which means it's perfect for when I rip paper because I usually don't cut straight lines. So I usually just rip. It also, it's pre-stressed, so it works really well for me. I have some 3D foam tape. I have my advanced tape quieter, the usual stuff that I have around. I kind of center it all together. If you're wondering, my desk is black, pure black. So I put this little foam board down so that you could actually see things a little better. I use this to reflect the sun when I take my pictures as well. It's just a poster board that's, it's the thick poster board, so it can kind of stand by itself. I put like a roll of tissue paper or something behind it, anything that I have at hand. And then it reflects the light, because I only get sunlight from one window in my entire apartment. And being in Sweden, you know, I have like a 2 to 3 hour window, usually. Speaking of that, it is spring. Well, it's coming into spring, so that means in Sweden we go from very sunny to very kind of cloudy. So if there's any lighting differences that you're going to be seeing flickering in the video, it's from that. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is I want to figure out which one am I going to use my backing paper, which one am I going to kind of put under it. I usually at least minimum of 2 unless I'm purely going cast. Clean and simple, but I know I'm not. I want to add a little more to it, so I think what we will do is this for the backing paper. And then, yeah, this will be smaller than that. So first thing, we'll put these to the side, is I need to size this down. So again, I kind of roughly judge this. It's good that's when the paper has stripes like this, that all I do is line it up where I want, grab a hold of it, and I rip it. And even though the height, I don't want to change too much, I go ahead and make sure that I do it to all 4 sides. Another reason why I really like this ruler is that it has a grid system on it, so I can actually get my tear straight. Because not only can I can't cut straight, but I cannot tear straight either. I also can't walk in a straight line, so I'm just one of those clumsy kind of people, and this one's a little bit harder to get, but we'll get it going. There's also little tricks that if it doesn't come up at all, I can cut it with my scissors and then distress it a little more with my distressor. So I usually do not apply my backing paper to my card blank. I do that at the very last bit before I start adding 3D pieces. So I usually kind of lay it out and see how I want things. Okay, so far it's looking good. It's not showing a lot of that, but it still adds enough. I do want something going horizontal. So I think we're going to add some lace and then distress this and put it together. Oh yes, I also have sentiment already printed out. It is a digital sentiment, and it says, "Let the rain kiss you, let the rain beat upon your head with silver drops. Let the rain sing you a lullaby." I really like it. So we'll see if we can add that or not. But I am going to grab some lace, or crackle ribbon actually, and then we're going to start distressing and putting this all together. So I went ahead and opted for this crackle ribbon. I'm just kind of gauging where it is and making all sorts of noise while I grab my scissors. This stuff is absolutely brilliant. Adds so much texture. Again, I got it at a crop that I went to last year, and I'm going again in a week, so I'm hoping they have more, and I'm just going to buy as much as I can because I really dig it. So that will go under. That will be a good beginning for now. So first things first is I grabbed my little distressing tool. I had one that only had one distressor, and that goes out so fast. So if you're like me, Tim Holtz and the Ranger product also has a little distressor like this. All you do is scrape it along the edge of it. And I usually do a little scraping, and then later on I can go back and I can do even more. I'm one of those quick and dirty kind of people, because I don't like to spend a whole lot of time fussing, because if it's not perfectly straight, it's going to bother me. But I personally can't get things straight, so I rough it up a lot. At this point, if you had, like some Distress ink wallet stain, I would distress the edges. But here, I don't want it to I don't want it to look dirty, so we're going to keep it the way it is. Just for consistency, I'm going to go across this edge as well. It looks, it's already pre-distressed because I already ripped it, so that's nice. It's also good, that kind of technique is good for crops, because then you don't have to worry about scissors, so that's one less thing they have to worry about, and that's actually how I ended up with the ruler, was at that crop last year. I forgot my ruler, and I definitely didn't bring scissors, so I went and bought this, and really good purchase. So you'll have to excuse if you see any cat hair. I have two very lovely cats that like my desk a lot. So yeah, that's one thing about my cards. You're going to see a little difference here from the previous frame. My advanced tape glider ran out of tape. So instead of taking the time to put in a new one, I'm just switching over to scrapbook adhesives. This is a cute little one. And one thing also about that is that I have a little time to lift things up and place them down how I want if something's not right. And versus the advanced tape glider, that is so strong that it takes immediately. Again, I kind of try to eyeball it. I line it up real quick and just kind of slap it down, which also leads to things not being straight. So if you take a look at my cards, they're definitely handmade. And they definitely show that, but they still don't take away the fact that I really enjoy this, and I love giving my cards away and donating them. I just many times you'll see on my blog that I've mentioned this, that I donate my cards to my aunt, who creates these little stuffed dogs that she sells, and then she gives them away to cancer patients and people that just need a pick-me-up, and she gives them a basket, and she usually gives them one of my cards. And she just emailed me the other day that one of the patients that she has given my card to passed away. She lost the fight of cancer, and she was buried with one of my cards because she loved it so much and it made her happy on her, you know, when she was in hospice, and oh, just, it brought tears to my eyes. So I'm very happy to bring joy like that. I know I'm going to lift her up. I lift all of my images up. I do use 3D foam dots. I have those there. And then I came across this. This is 3D foam tape. I don't think I will ever go without it. I like to be able to, I like my, when I lift up, I like to have a little more space to secure it so that it doesn't come across. This is also a scrapbooking adhesives. This is really strong. It holds together. So that's always nice. You want your adhesive to actually hold up. And since I ship my cards to my aunt who's in Utah and I'm in Sweden, I have to make sure that when she gets them, they're still intact. And then also when she gives them to people, you know, they could be young, they can be old, they might not be in, you know, have full functionality of their hands. They might not be as careful as they need to be. So I have a lot of tapes and I have a lot of glues to try to find the perfect stuff. We are going to set her right there. Looking pretty good. You know, about a year ago I would have left the card just like that. But now I'm more into the scrapbooking thing, well, more of the card making, and I just watch so many different people, so I want to add a little more. So I add this frame, and I'll be a little bit up so she looks like she's recessed, which I think will be really cool. And then we'll add in the clouds and try to find a spot for the sentiment. And I really want to add some gems. So I guess I can put some questions to anyone who's actually watching. What are your top scrapbooking must-haves? Pretty much what you see in my desk is they're my must-haves. I need my ruler, I need my distresser, and I need good tape and 3D foam tape. Those are absolute top. So it's kind of interesting. It's like if you know, crops are a good way to find that out. Because you only have a limited amount of space, and of course you're going to buy stuff, hopefully. But, you know, so you want to make some room, so it's like, what do you take? My Copics, actually. My Copics are the first one there. So, let's try to bring this up a little bit. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good. So now we have bright and shiny little cloud. I'll be able to slip into there. And we have, oh, that'll look really good. That'll look really, really sweet. And then I have a tiny little mini one here that I think we'll add. There. Sentiment. Always looks good in a corner like that. Actually, maybe we will go, oh, that'll be cute. Super, super cute. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can check a little bit closer on what I'm doing. Didn't realize I was so far out. So I have my liquid glue now. And again, I have lots of liquid glue as well. And the one that I have found that I like the most has been this Tonic Studios Crafty Tack Glue. Really fine tip. It doesn't clog. And it's really strong. It is super tacky. We're going to push you down a little bit. Okay. That's one thing here, you know, don't be afraid to lift things up. Cut them if you need to. Since it tucks under the image and whatnot, you won't see the actual thing. I think we'll cut a little more. I play around a lot. I don't really think a whole lot about what I'm doing. It's like, oh, that doesn't look good. I'm going to do a little bit more of that. And no, that doesn't work. You know, go back and forth kind of a thing. Okay, so that's going to work. We're going to stick some gems on it too. I want an idea of, you know, working in groups of 3. We're going to put 3 gems on this. So this little bit that was cut off will be covered up. There. Now we'll do the sentiment. Now, one thing that, you know, I work with digital. I'm a hybrid crafter is what I like to say, because I work with digital images. I work with digital papers as well, which is Funky Hand. And I plan out my cards digitally sometimes. And I use like my Silhouette Cameo to cut things out, as well as my Silhouette Studio to plan out my cards. It makes it easier for when I have it all planned out and then I know what I need to cut. But sometimes I just like to get everything out and just kind of play with it. Like today, I knew I had the sparkle paper that I really wanted to mess around with, crackle ribbon, all of that. And I have to get my Big Shot done sometimes. So here are my gems. We are going to, I'm going to place one there. I'm going to place maybe one here. So, oh, we're almost done with this, actually. I would say we are pretty much done. I'm not a whole kitchen sink kind of card maker. I am pretty simple. And there's not a whole lot to this. The biggest thing is that I love the image being forefront. And so a little distressing to hide any unstraight lines that I have. You know, little embellishments can hide anything wrong there. What I usually do when I'm done with this is I go ahead and I see where it is on my card. And then instead of applying the tape directly to the back of that, I usually just apply it to the card. And I leave a little bit of room from the edge and where the paper is going to be, because then what I can do is that we don't have to worry about the tape being seen. And then I can use a little more distressing, kind of lifting up the paper in places. Gives me just enough room for that. And again, this is where the Scrapbook Adhesives Easy Runner is what it's called. This is when it's really good, when I can place this. Try to get an even thing all around it. And then curl up there. And I just work it, kind of roll it a little bit so it's not stiff. You want to kind of loosen the fibers in the paper. I know there are tools out for here, but so I think we'll go ahead and call it a day. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you check out Rainy Day as well as all of the new releases. We have some amazing ones. I will be back with another video on how I 3D paper piece. That is another thing that I love doing. So there we go. Thank you.